Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the Tiny Tile Project. We are going to be working with the color of your table today using Sharpies. Now you're going to receive a box that has multiple versions of that color, so anything that's in there will be what you have as an option, but please try to stick to those colors. Don't go and find colors from any other tables. Now we are going to begin by first going through and erasing our pencil lines. So we're going to go through and just very carefully and lightly erase. If you have just done the pen outline, then it might not be the right time for you to erase. You don't want to end up smudging your details. So this should be done once your pen has had a chance to dry at least a little bit. Now we're doing this because some of the colors are a little bit lighter and you'll be able to see those pencil lines showing through. So just do your best to get all of those areas erased. Now at this point, we really start thinking about where we want our color to be and where we're going to leave white. Now I am looking at mine, and you have the option of filling in your ribbons with black and having your background be white and more of your objects be your color. You could swap it and you could do your color in the background and your ribbons be white or black, and then kind of both in between your objects. So you have a lot of wiggle room with how you're going to do this. Looking at my objects, I feel like a lot of them are not quite as colorful, so it might actually make more sense for me to go through and use my color to fill in the background. So let's go ahead and try that. I am just going to use this and very carefully fill in these little corners. We want to leave them nice and crisp. We're going to go all the way around these details, and I like to give myself a border first as I'm filling in and coloring. So I'm going to give myself this border, and then I'm going to fill inside of that border so that it's nice and neat, so that I'm not just like filling up against the edges of lines and having them all of a sudden be not quite so tidy. So I'm going to again give myself borders when I have a larger space. And then once they're bordered nice and cleanly, I'll go through and fill in the center. Now, as we're working today, you are going to be able to go back through and add some details. Now, looking at mine, I think maybe I'm not going to have enough space for the white and black to be as even as the background color. So for that reason, I think I might even incorporate a couple more white lines so that I can leave the lines or the ribbons white. So I'm going to just kind of bring those through here, and you could do this in pencil, so don't feel like you have to do this part in pen. You still are allowed to work in pencil today, and you can adjust your design as needed. So I am adding in another ribbon to kind of leave a little bit more white space in my background, since I noticed I probably have kind of a heavy blue design at this moment. So I'm going to go through and start filling in these details by giving myself a border first, and I'm going to go right up to that edge. Don't leave any space between your design and the outside edge of our tile. That's especially important when we're working on the reverse side so that we can see right where that tile edge ends. Now we're just going to go through and fill, but one thing you should know is that you are absolutely allowed to come back through with your V5 today. So I would recommend at this point thinking through, do I really have enough black? And something you could consider at this point, if you're feeling like you could use a little bit more black, I'm going to turn my page and just add a little bit of like hatch marks to this coffee cup, and maybe I'll add like another row of shorter ones so that it looks like it's getting a little bit lighter as it works its way up, and then maybe one more line of short lines. Now, something else you could do, you could go the opposite direction if you wanted to add a little bit of cross hatching here. So you could do just a couple light little lines going vertically to help it look like it's fading nice and like a pen illustration style. So I'm gonna just add a couple little lines here, and that enhances the amount of black that I've got, although I'm still leaving some white. So if you have some areas where you think it would be beneficial for you to add just a little bit more black, but you don't wanna fill it in all the way, then the shading method here is a really great option. So we are going to do our best to fill in the front today and have an even amount of our color, black, and white. And so a good way to think about it is if you cut all of these little blue parts out and had a pile of them, and cut out all of the pieces of black and had a pile of them, and then all of the pieces of white and had a pile, would the piles be even or not? That's the question that you should be asking yourself today as you're filling. Our goal is to get pretty far on the front so that next class we will have our amount of time to go through and work on outlining with just the V5 on the back. And then our fourth and final day for our tiny tile is going to be filling in the color on the back and cutting it out. So that way we'll have this same design on the front and the back so that it can be seen from the front side of the window or the back side of the window. So please let me know if you've got any questions, and you will still have more time. So if you don't finish this square today, that's okay. Just do your best and enjoy. Thanks for watching.